Okay, so good morning, everyone. I think most of us joined. So let me start the sharing. Okay, so today, like yesterday, what we have seen is we have started saying we've seen scoop, how we can use the scoop and what are the functions we can do, how to import and how it is working. Those things we have seen, and today what we'll see is we'll take one data set and we'll just do the end-to-end of end-to-end implementation, like what we do after the scoop and what we should do before the scoop. Those things we'll do. It's kind of end-to-end POC. I will just try to implement that. Okay, so
your voice is not clear.
okay. So everybody same issue, facing the same issue?
No, not audible.
Okay. Let's check it. Now able to hear? Is it fine or same?
Someone's video is activated, I think.
Somebody's iPhone 7790. I'm not sure who that. Okay. So now my audio is clear somehow?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, your audio is clear now.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we'll take some data and we'll do step-by-step processing of the data. We will just first we'll load the data into HBase. We'll take one data from RDBMS. From there, we'll load the data into HBase. From there, on top of that, we will load the data into Hive. Okay. So after that Hive, we can do some sort of analysis, or we can run MapReduce program, and those things we can do. And finally, we can create some kind of dashboard using Python. So
when we are loading it to Hive, that means it is on HDFS, right? Or is there any?
It's an HDFS.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So here some kind of different technologies we will be using. So from HBase to Hive, and those things, external internal table will come, which we have not yet seen in Hive. So those things we'll just explain shortly. When we go into Hive, we'll see that things in deeply, because Hive supports external table, and the data can be there in HBase itself. So just for understanding, we're just seeing this, like how we, what is the use of after scooping and those things. For that only, we are going to see this POC for now. Okay. So this is a folder. It's in our assignment, POC and project FBI. This is just the data as the FBI data. So that is why we kept the name as project FBI. Okay. So we'll just run step by step. First, what we are doing is we have the data in CSV. Okay. So what we can do is we can simply load the data into Hive or somewhere, but just to try different tools, we are just going to load the data into MySQL. That is our first step. So I'll just go to MySQL here. Open terminal, MySQL, -new root -c Cloudera. So I entered. Then I'm just creating the DB. It's created. After that, let me use after that, I'm just going to create a table. So I've created the table. Before that, what I did is I downloaded the data from US website, which gives me the number of crimes that has happened in US. Okay. So this shows me this has some 500 record. It's a sample one. The total record can go up to millions. This just shows what is the ID, what is the case number registered, at what date it is registered, and what kind of crime it is, which place it has happened, everything, all the information they've given. What is the latitude, longitude, and what is the updated on everything. It is given in this chart. It just happened in 2017 data. So this data everyone can access. This is the open data which is available from US government everywhere. Okay, so this data we'll load it and we'll just try to manipulate and see how the kind of results we are getting. Okay, okay, let's save it. No, I don't want to save it. So this data I'm copying it to SGFS. I'm copying into my internal here. I'm loading into desktop. I'm loading the data into the table. This need to load it. The file must be database directory or be readable by all. Okay, I think some permission issue. Input time is just readable, so ch mode. The file permission is not properly there, so I just changing the permission and then running it again. Now it is loaded, and let's see. Start from. Okay, the data is loaded into our table. So first thing what we need to do is, here there are some kind of architectural difference which we are doing. We are loading the data into HBase. We are not we are just moving the data into HDFS. We are moving the data into HBase. So why HBase? When what all the scenarios will go for HBase is if the data size is huge, and we want to access the data in a random manner, then we will go for HBase. That is the first use case of HBase. For example, like there is a hospital which is running healthcare industry that having lot of patients details. Okay, so it is having a patient details like lakhs and crores of people's of data is there, and everybody has one ID. Okay, so when we want to go to the system and we want to fetch our records, like they will be having one internal web UI. Correct. In the web UI, if they enter our ID, let's say our ID is 001, it has to populate our entire detail with our entire case history. Correct. That is one use case. That is the random access. Anybody can come, like ID 11 can come, or ID 6,772. This might come, but what the backend application should do is it should go immediately and fetch that only particular data, his entire data, and then show it to the front end. Correct? Is this use case understandable?
Yeah, yes.
So same way, there are another kind of use cases there. What kind of use cases? Let's say we want to analyze how the how diseases are evolving. What is the general analysis of the the hospital? Like how many patients are there? What is the symptoms? Those collectively, if you want to aggregate and do some kind of operation. Let's say I wanted to find out.
Aru, I have one question.
Hmm.
So yesterday we talked about that Scoop, right? So Scoop also doing the same thing, right? One while we export.
While we export, what happens?
So we will be retrieving by using the select command, right? We are giving that in the where condition.
No,
right?
it is. We are talking about writing application. Where like what we are doing, the Scoop is transferring the data to there. But what currently we are talking is you run an application in a front end. Like somebody sitting in a reception, they will be using an application, right?
Okay,
That
so
application has to
so
go
HBase
back
is
end
going
and
to be a
fetch the
front
data.
end.
Correct. Correct. We are not talking about transferring the data from here to there. We are talking about the architecture of the application, like front end application, mobile phone applications, and desktop applications. Those things I'm talking.
Okay.
Okay, and Scoop is just a transferring tool. Anyway, we are going to use Scoop to transfer, but to which tool? That is the question here. Like we are going to transfer to HBase. So why to HBase? That is the thing we are seeing, because HBase is used for random access. If you put into Hive and all, it's a sequential access. It will go like one line by one, then only it can access. It is not faster. Hive is mostly used for analytics, like OLAP. So for that only we are using Hive. So okay, so we want a random access also. Sometimes under data.
Sorry, Arjay, just one point I wanted to clarify with you. You said Hive is mainly for analytical purpose and it does it in the sequential manner, correct? If that is the case, why Facebook is using Hive? Because Facebook, people will be the request will be random, correct? Anybody can try searching anyone, and if it is a sequential way, how they retrieve or how can it get it faster?
No. Facebook is not using Hive for that purpose for sure. Facebook has Hive in very different manner. That is one difference. But I don't think they are using it for this purpose. They are also using HBase, those NoSQL, those things only in the architecture backend. They are also using for OLTP purpose only Hive. They are not using for Hive for the purpose. They are using different purpose. It's not for random access.
Okay.
So the same data, the point which I'm making is the same data only. On the same data, you might want to do some aggregated operation. Aggregated operation. Sometimes you want to do on top of same data. It's the same user like patient details. We might want to run some analytics. We might want to process the data and do some algorithm. That is aggregated operation. So here the difference is, if you want to randomly access, you want to store the data into HBase. That is the easiest way to access billions of records. If you have billions of records, you can easily access one record. That's a way to store it. And if you wanted to do aggregated operation, HBase is not a best fit. Only you can do that on Hive or Impala. So there are some other tools available. Using that, you can do. So in order to achieve these things, what we can do is, we'll store the RDBMS data into HBase. and on top of that we'll create one Hive virtual table. So Hive virtual table can point the HBase table itself without owning the data for itself. So there are dual purpose served in this architecture. That is what we are going to do now. We'll store the data into HBase and we'll create one virtual table in Hive pointing to the location where HBase table is located. Okay. So
as similar as in HDFS.
Yeah, HBase also stores the data in regarding to HDFS. Our case, HBase also stores the data in HDFS only.
Okay,
But
but yeah. Oh, okay. So that's why we just the Hive will be just pointing is enough, because it's anyway the data is still in HDFS and as well as HBase.
Yeah, correct. Even if it is in S3 storage, Hive can point.
So one question, Aru.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hive is nothing but it is a metadata for the HDFS files, right? Whatever is stored. Okay. But HBase is it a software database kind of thing which is reside on HDFS, or it is how it is? Again, that is also a metadata pointing to HDFS.
HBase is not a metadata of pointing. HBase has its own data structure, everything, but the final end of the files can be stored in HDFS. That is the HBase way.
When you say final end of the file means the source for the HBase.
Correct. Source for the HBase can be stored in HDFS, or it can store in anywhere.
When you say can be stored, it is so that means HDFS or somewhere else where it can be stored.
It can be stored anywhere. Like you can use your own laptop for that Linux storage. ext3 also you can store. S3 storage also we can store. Anywhere we can store. HDFS is one of the storage for HBase. It is not mandatory. People are using it right now.
Okay.
Actually, Aruji, HBase is a NoSQL, right? It's a NoSQL database, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
go
ahead, Shankar. So Aruji, so the scenario, suppose if the table is created in HBase and the data is stored in the HBase table, and you are saying we will create a virtual table in Hive. So Hive is a sequential and the HBase is a random access, right? So suppose if I am doing a query on the Hive table, so in that scenario, will it work as a sequential or it will work as a random?
It will work as a sequential only.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You will be able to do aggregated operation through Hive, but the actual data is residing in HBase. But if you wanted to do random access, you don't go to Hive. You can directly hit the HBase and access the data through HBase and to avail the functionality of random access. But the data is single time only restored.
RG, the hives can be like a views.
Yeah.
The hives can be like a views, right?
Yeah, Hive is like a view.
And one more question. So you said like Hive is nothing but a virtual table. Okay, since it is a meta data, so it is a virtual table. So HBase is also doing the same thing, right? The underlying table is again it is pointing to some
it is pointing to some kind of files, but HBase has its own architecture like hmaster, hslave. Those daemons are running. So because of that, HBase can do the random access, and it stores the data in very different way. It uses HDFS as a storage, but it splits the data, and there are a lot of other technical details. It will split the data and store it in such a way. Because of that, the randomization is possible. So that is the main difference.
Okay.
Separate master and slave. HBase itself has separate master and slave architecture. Because of that, it's faster.
Okay.
once we start seeing the HBase, that time we'll understand the architecture. But that is the overall view. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody else
So
understand?
here also we use a scoop to do that. From RDBMS to HBase.
Yeah, we can do the. But for that only we are doing the POC. We will be using scoop to transfer the data from RDBMS to HBase.
So how do you use the non-RDBMS like a flat files to HBase then?
Flat file to HBase loading also. There is we don't use scoop for loading flat file. We can directly load it using some other commands like HBase load is there. We can use that. If you want to do RDB from RDBMS to here, we have a scoop HBase import is there. That we'll see in that we are going to see. Okay. So we just created that. So before loading the data into HBase, we need to create a table in HBase. So HBase is a what is a HBase is? It is a column-oriented NoSQL database. There, all we need to specify. If you want to create some table in HBase, all we need to specify is only column family and table name and column family. So what is column family? It is nothing but inside the like in HBase, you don't have to mention column name explicitly. You can have any column name for one single table. It is a dynamic one. While running only, you can give any column names. That is the power of HBase. That's why HBase is kind of so much used. Okay. So while we creating a HBase table, all we need to specify is table name and then column family. You can have n number of column families. That is fine. But under each column family, you can have n number of columns. Okay. So table name. And then column family. In column family, you can have columns. So that is a layers of HBase. Currently, I'm going to create one table with the table name FBI crime and then the column family is CF. I am not going to specify any column names while creating the table. Okay. So column names, while inserting the data, it will automatically going to get inserted, which we'll see in some time. For that, all I have to go is to go to HBase shell. This is an interactive way to access HBase shell. Okay, we are in HBase. I'll just do create HBase crime. Now before that, we can check whether do we have any table or not. Means we can do list. There is nothing. So I'm going to create a table and a column family. Yeah, table is created. Let's see whether it is created. It is created. HFB crime is created, but there is no data. How do I find whether any data is there or not? In NoSQL, select star from, I can do scan. Instead of select star from, I can do scan. It's the same thing. Scan the table. I'll see whether is there any data is there or not. There is no data. That is why scan result this way. And I can do this to find out what is a table and what is a column family. I can find. All I mentioned here is a column family. If you see, I just mentioned only one column family. That's it. One column family. All the running, like while running, it will increase the data. Fine. So we'll push this data into there. Here the data is there in a completely structured format, and it is RDBMS data, right? So this is where data is stored. Let's move the data to HBase. The next step is we want to import the data into HBase. For that, we have a same we have a same scoop command. Scoop import I'll do. After that, connect and FBA DB till the DB I've given. After that, I need to give the table name. What is my MySQL table name? I've given the table name, which is FBI crime, which is FBI DB, FBI crime, which I've given. After that, I have to give the HBase table name. So the HBase table name which we just created, that we have given. After that, what we need to do is we need to give the column family. What is the column family we have given here? We have given here column family as CF. Correct. So here also we need to give CF. It is a case sensitive. We need to give capital CF. After that, what I need to do is we need to give HBase row key. So in HBase, everything is everything is stored based on the row key only. Row key is a very important key. Normally, we can give a primary key as a row key. So in that way, it is a unique one. So that will be stored across the table properly. Fine. After that, I'm using one mapper, which is not necessary, but I'm using. After that, I'm giving the username and password. Fine. Everybody understood the syntax or what are the values we have given. HBase table name we require column family, and then the HBase row key. HBase row key is ID, which is a primary key here. If you see primary key, that is the ID. Sorry, it's not primary key. We did not insert, but it can be a primary key.
Arjit, can you just explain the columnar value of the CF? Why we need to give that one on HBase?
It's a column family. On which column family you want to push all the data. That is the thing we need to give.
So it could be one or more than one column family.
We can give more column families also. That should be possible.
So it should be only integer or
row key, HBase row key.
no, I'm talking about column family. So column family should be having only integer or it could be anything.
No, column family can anything. Column family is just a group of columns only.
Okay.
It can have n number of columns, like 100 columns, 200 columns. It can have unlimited columns.
We should mention as a CF only, or we can mention any character.
We can mention any character, but for best practice, we need to give one or two character only. If you give more, the HBase will store the things in a key value pair. So it is better if you give less number of characters in a column family, because it is going to get stored in each line. But we can mention anything.
Aro, this is Vinod here. I have two questions. One is you are mentioning the column family, right? If in case my table is having 10 columns and you are giving CF and you want to push all the columns under the column family CF, right? So, but if I'm categorizing the 10 into two different column families, whatever the address is coming, I want to put that under one column family and then the remaining 5 into another column family. If I want to move that table, what syntax do I need to give? Because here you didn't mention what column has to go under the column family, right?
In import.
Yes, in import. If I have two column families, how do I mention which column has to go to which column family?
Okay, that I'm not sure how to mention in Scoop in here, but there should be a syntax which I also need to look and let you know.
Okay. My next question is, you mentioned HBase row ID, row ID, right? My understanding is you are expecting any one column to be unique. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I don't have unique value in a table, then I can't. When I say unique, for example, if you take Teradata, right, you can have non-unique primary index. With the same key, you can have multiple columns, which will go into the same AMP, right? That is possible anywhere. So if I get a table like that, so those are not a candidate to use HBase to load the data. Is that right?
In that case, you need to define a HBase row key as a unique one. Without that, it is not possible. You have to merge some more, merge some more columns to create a row key. Row key should be always unique, else it will overwrite.
So basically, surrogate key.
Yes, surrogate key only. If let's say you have a row key as 001 and you have columns like name and age. You have two columns. If the row key is not unique, again 001 is coming for different name and age, then in that case it will get overwritten.
No. You are right. What I'm trying to say is, if you are getting a transactional data for a employee, right? In your case here, 001. If in case 001 is unique, but the row itself is not unique because you have multiple data for 001 and you're getting 2 rows or 3 rows for 001.
For that, we need a surrogate key. Yes. Else it will get again it will get overwritten only transaction tables. It will get overwritten.
Okay, so if we don't have, can we give anything like identity column to generate the rows unique dynamically, or it's not possible?
That is possible only. In our project, what we are doing is we are using timestamp to create a unique row ID.
Okay.
We always use timestamp to insert. That way, we will have the different row keys inserting at each time.
Suppose I have a duplicate data, and if I don't, can I escape from creating a row key ID?
No. It will
optional. Is it optional?
No, there is no option. Row key is must for HBase.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then can it be a composite key?
Composite key means what is it?
Multiple columns.
Multiple columns you can give. You can like merge it, create a composite key. You can create. That is possible.
When you say composite.
Hello. Sorry, I was not able to hear the last.
Okay, suppose I have 3 columns: attribute 1, attribute 2, attribute 3. All 3 I can mention it for key.
Yeah, you can merge it and you can mention it as a row key. Here you can mention it.
When you say merge, where we are doing merge?
No, I'm not talking about the scoop command. Like in scoop, what we do is we just do direct load. But if you want to do, you have to do it here only. I'm not sure whether this command will support of merging. But other way of loading, we are using Java to load the data. Over there, we are using composite keys only. That can be used over there, but in the scoop command, I'm not sure whether if we give comma and give one more key, it should work or not. I also need to test that.
Okay.
Okay, and one more question, Aruj, just to clarify that. So, even though HBase works as a RDBMS, behind the scene it is storing the data in SDF.
It not works as RDBMS. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So behind the scene it stores the data in HDFS only, right?
Yes.
In file format. Okay.
Yeah.
When you say if I give the same key, it will overwrite. Let's take an example. Today I am loading 100 rows, and tomorrow I am loading 100 rows. Will that 100 rows will be stored as a different text file, or it will append the second 100 rows into the first text file where we already loaded the 100?
It will overwrite the same text file.
It will overwrite. So these HBase can be just used as a staging table. It cannot be like a base table.
No, if you can use it as a base table, but you have to design a row key in a manner it shouldn't be overwritten. That's the way you should use.
No. Okay, let me put my question this way. See, there is no delete option available in Hadoop at all, right?
Yeah.
Saying that this is also storing the data as a text file, right?
Correct.
So my understanding is, if you load something tomorrow, today, it will create a directory and it will create a file under the table name. It will store the data.
Correct.
That will show up on under the HDFS, right?
Correct.
If tomorrow you are loading 100 files, your statement is it will get override. When you say override, if the path is already available, it will override the data which was loaded yesterday, or it will go inside the text. It will open the text file which is already available and it will try to append it.
Oh, I think while appending, it may overwrite if it is duplicate occurs.
No. The overwrite, what I meant is the same transaction number, if you are giving again 001, it will overwrite the data. it will always open the text file and then only it will overwrite. It will not add new files.
Will it not show any error at all?
No,
Or
it will
warning?
not show any error. No, it will not show any error. It will just overwrite the data only.
Okay. Just to clarify a doubt, if I'm using climb table in this one, I have 10 TB of data. So you mean to say every time it will check the 10 TB of data to load the records?
Yeah, exactly. That is why we are using HBase, right? You have 10 TB of data, it will be stored in HBase. Then it means if you give one record to like newly, it will go and update the same way where it always updates. So HBase is like separated into region servers. In region servers, it will go into step by step and it will go into the perfect metadata all the time. The like row keys, that's why row key is unique and the row key is very important one. Row key will go and hit the same place all the time, so that it will easily check whether the data is already there or not. Then it will update there. If the data is there, it will update.
Okay.
If it is not there, insert.
Got it, Aru. And one more doubt on the same thing. So I understand what you explained now. It will go and overrate. If the same employee number is already available, it will go and overrate. Let's assume very first time when I load the employee number 1, I am just going with family column as CF. And after a week, when I load the data, I realize that okay, I need to split the rows into 2 family column. And next time I'm giving 2 family column. Right now, the family column has been changed, even though the key is same. Correct. So what will happen? Will it overwrite and just maintain the 2 family column as the final row, or it will write a new row?
No, if you want to change the family column, you have to alter the table. If you alter the table and then load, it will like CF1 name is a different thing. CF2 name is a different thing. So it will not overwrite the CF1 at all. If you give the CF2 after some time, it will write into CF2 only. You have to decide which family column you are going to hit.
So based on the family column, it will write in a separate file. That's what you are trying to say?
Yes.
So in that case, it will not get over.
It does not mean separate file. It is a same like next to the adjacent to the file only, but family column is different. So it will not overwrite the CF1 name. It will write into the new thing CF2 name.
So
the can be used.
Even though the employee number is same, it won't overwrite because of this change.
Yeah, because of you are writing the CF2, right? It will not overwrite. It will be there. CF1 is always there. CF1 name is always there. CF1 name is always there. CF2 name is also always there, because it is different family columns, right? For this,
yeah, when you explain this, you told a statement, right? You cannot change the family column between in between. If at all you need to do that, you need to alter the table. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if I'm loading a table for a couple of years, and then I wanted to add one column in the table, so I need to take the backup of the table and restructure it and put the data back again. That's how it works.
Add one column or one column family.
Let's say I'm adding one column, but that has to come under the new column family.
Okay. In that case, you have to alter.
Okay. If it is the same family, then I can just simply add it.
Same family. It's you will not at all mention any columns in anywhere. You always mention column family only. Column names are dynamically created. So you don't name it. While inserting only, you can create any columns at any time you want. So it will not at all an issue.
So you mean to say that? Sorry, you mean to say that if I have tomorrow, if my scoop table has one more column, automatically it will be loaded into that.
Exactly.
HBase table. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So here also, while creating the table, we just mentioned column family only. We did not give what kind of columns, what is the data type of the column, nothing. Only column family. That's all we give.
Okay, and also what about the key ID we are defining for column family 1, right? So same key ID will be used for column family 2, or we can define another column.
Row ID is the same.
Oh, okay.
Row ID is
we cannot create another one, right?
No, we cannot create one row ID. If you have 2 column families, 1 row ID, 2 column families will be there always. You can have n number of columns on column family 1, n for column family 2.
Arji, if we want a CF2 to be a CF again, So we need to delete the CF again. We need to load as a CF.
Yeah, you have to alter the table again. You have to go and alter.
Hey,
I want the CF. The name of the column family is a CF first. Okay.
Correct.
So now, as Vinod said, he want to do some changes on that file, right? So he do some changes and he load it as instead of CF2, he need, because he has used the CF as some other places, so you don't want to alter that. So now he has to delete the CF1 file and he has to load again as a CF. What is that?
Okay, so you're saying previously you created column family 1, now you wanted to change it as a column family 2, right?
No, now I want to create one more with the CF1 only.
Here?
Yeah.
No, it's not possible. One column family only available, right? You cannot create, like if you create it, it will again say column family exists, right?
Right, but again, but I want to keep the CF1 because the CF1 is already used in somewhere in my other programs.
Yeah, that is understandable. But if you give CF1, again, one more, if you want to create one more column family, why do you need to create the same again? What is the requirement? Why do we?
Yeah, that's right. There is a change. See, I have increased the number of columns in the CF, the new table, whatever it is. The new table
means different table?
Yeah, no, the same table.
No. So, okay, I understand the question. See, initially you have the name and age. Currently, you are increasing into something else address, right?
Address, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can add anything dynamically. There is no restriction. You need to define columns initially. You can add dynamically. Let's say the user 100 has only name and age as a columns, right? As a user 100 has only 2 columns, name and age. Okay. Let's say user 1001, after some long time, some of the users having 100 columns like name, age, address,
right,
and etc. You don't have to touch the column family at all. You can have this user still can this only 3 things. This user can still have n number of columns. There is no relation between those two. It is not like RDBMS, right? So you don't have to change the column family at all. For changing the columns is always dynamic. In the dynamic, what I mean is, it will just get inserted as and when it comes. It is just going to store as a key value pair only. It is not going to fix a structure. Okay, this this table has this structure, so it has 10 columns only. No, it's not like that. It is it's a file only. It keeps on increasing. User 1 has different columns. User 2 has same table. It can have altogether different column also.
Anand, just to make you to understand, right? The same model is available if you go. It's a entropy attributed model, right? We store the column and in the row wise. It's the same concept. Yeah, if you're loading a member information, member has 10 columns. Instead of 10 columns, you can have a member key and then column and then column value. You can store name in the column name and then Vinod in the column value, and it's vice versa, right? So the same row, same member the columns will differ.
Yeah, but then you have only previously imported the file which has only 10 columns, but later on I have 20 columns. So how that again I have to reload, right? Again I have to import the data.
No, it depends on your need. See, just to make it understand, right? You forget about this one, HBase. It's a general concept. If you are loading, if you already loaded a history table with 10 columns and then you are going with incremental, later point of time after 6 months, your requirement is to add one more column. If your requirement says you need to populate that new column for all history data as well as incremental, that is one requirement. Or if your requirement says no, this is a new column from the source itself, so for the old record you are not going to have that value. Just have value from the day you are adding it in the incremental. In that case, your history will not have value for those columns. It will be a default value or the null values for the history columns, right? That is how it works in RDBMS. My understanding is it will be same here too. If you take a key and if you have 10 columns, later if you are adding 5 more columns, if you take the key which has 15 columns, then you will see 15 columns there. for the remaining things, even though you select 15 columns, you will see only 10 columns. The remaining 5 will come as a null. Is that right, Aru?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right. See, just to make you understand, right now we loaded the MySQL table here, right? MySQL -u root -p. Show database use FPIGD show tables select chart from FPL where ID is equal to okay. So this is a way of RDBMS way of storing the data, correct? This just the same record, it is there. We imported to using Scoop, we imported to HBase. This is a way of same data is getting stored in HBase. If you see the difference, we store everything as a key value pair. Like this is one, this is our row ID. Okay, this is a row ID. It has CF everywhere. It is mentioned what is the column family name, what is the column name, what is the column family name, what is the column name. It is a key. It has a value, and it is mapped to this row ID. So always, if you want to get the value, you have to go through this way only: table name and then row ID, and then what is the column family, column. Then you hit the value. Only one value you will get. You understood? But here it is not the case. It is just the aggregated one. You have the column name, everything in the top of only one row only it is stored. After that, it is just using mapped. But here it is everything is stored as a row key column value. This is my row key. This is my column family with column, and then that's a value for this. And what is the time stamp? At what time it is inserted? So if you look in a more generic way, I'll just do the scan of the table. Here you will be able to understand more. This is my each row ID. If you see one row ID, how much time it is replicated? See, right? This is just one record, 15874. That is stored from there to here. 15874, 15874, 15874.
So those many columns. Those many columns.
Yeah, those are your columns. But how much rows it is stored?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this is the CF is a very important, because when I load it next time CF1, then this old file is we don't consider the old file.
Next time, if you load into CF1, you have to alter the table. That's the point. You have to alter the table if you want to add new column family. But why do you need a new column family? That is my question.
Okay.
One more question, Aru.
Yeah.
So you are mean to say that everything is storing in a normalized way. The columns will be stored as rows. Each columns will be stored as rows with respect to the data, right?
Yeah.
And okay. So suppose I am defining a 2 column family, one in 5 columns and another 5 in another column family.
Okay.
But you said like when we suppose they knew the scoop table or the some other table, I'm having 12 columns. Now they added 2 more columns.
Okay.
Currently we have split into 5 plus 5. So that is existing
Where
10
do you
columns.
mention 5 into 5?
Okay. In the HBase table, currently I have 2 column family. One is having 5 columns, another is having another 5 columns.
Okay.
Okay. Now the source for the HBase table, it has been added with 2 more columns. It is 12.
Okay.
Previously it was 10. Now it is 12.
Okay.
So when you import the data, so will it go into both the column family or the 2 columns?
That is the way that you have to define it. When you say you allocated 5 columns to one column family and another 5 to second column family, right?
Right.
So you will not mention it anywhere. This is not at all fixed. You don't have any way to do this. Only through programmatically you have to insert. You don't have to allocate it. If you say 5 column, you are allocated to CF1. You have to give it programmatically just to insert only.
Okay, so we cannot do
you will not explicitly mention anywhere that CF1 it will hold only this kind of columns, only five it can hold. No, it is not at all there. All you will mention is CF1, CF2 is there. You can have 100 columns in CF1 and 200 columns in CF2. In later on also, if it in the next record itself, it can have 300 columns for CF2. That is possible. It is record by record. You will mention column. That's why it's a dynamic column.
So that is through controlled through program.
You have to control the program.
So when we are doing with the scoop load kind of thing, we cannot do it. So we, if it is only one single column family, then it will take care.
No, there should be a way how to insert and all. I'm not so sure how to insert all these things because we don't use scoop for that one. But there should be a way. I'm sure scoop also should have a way. You can check that one. But programmatically, we are handling it. That is that's what the basis. And one more thing is, we never use different column families in our project. We have around 800 columns, which is coming in production. We have only one column family only.
Got it.
In production, we have
one more question. The row key ID, we are defining, right? So will it be okay? I think I asked this question before. So can we define a different row key ID for the column family, or it should be only one? So you said it is only one, right?
Row ID is the one thing. It's if you create one row ID, it will have two row. You defined your table like two column families, and you are inserting one row ID means it will have two column families.
Okay, so the same row cannot have multiple row ID. It could be only one.
Multiple row
I mean to say the row key IDs should be on only one column. Or multiple column. It cannot be. We cannot change between the column family, right? Row key IDs.
You cannot change between the column families. Yeah, it is not possible.
Okay, and also the another question is whether the row key ID should be a part of the column family.
Row key ID should be a part of the column family. Yeah, it will be a part of the column family only. If you see here, this is a row key ID. This is a part of this column family only. It is entire.
It's a mandate.
It's a mandate. Without row key ID, there is nothing in HBase.
Thank you.
Aruji, on the same point, you said row key ID part of the column family, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If I have two column family, is the same row key ID going to be part of the each column family, or it will be different?
Yeah, both same only. If you have one row key ID, you have to have this one row key ID. It should be unique for another column family also. That is the logic. If you have CF1 and CF2, you have like say 108.15874. This should be available for CF2 also. But if you do the get to get this only one record, I use the method get. If I do get, currently CF only coming. If I have CF2, one more column family, if I define and if I create, that will also come here because there's only one row ID mapped to the column family.
Okay, but let me ask this question. I think I wanted to take the Vinod example where he mentioned that we have CF and CF2, in which CF1 we have only name. Okay. And the CF2 we have address.
Okay.
So there I have not defined any row key ID.
Okay.
So in that case, how can I have a one row key for both?
Where you didn't mention any row key ID.
If I have one more file, say for example CF2.
See, one more file or one more column family?
One more column family, sorry.
Okay, okay.
Which is CF2. So that column family has only address field, for example, in this case.
CF, okay, let me come. CF row key 100. CF, what is it having?
Name.
Name.
And one more field.
Okay, let's say age.
Age, yep.
CF, age. And then you have CF2.
Yes.
Correct, this is CF1.
CF1, yep. And CF2 address, yep.
Okay.
So all I want to know is how do I define the row key for these two tables?
Okay, this is your row key, right? This row key is common for two column families.
No need to specify inside the column family.
No, you don't have to specify because you already defined your table name, right? Your table name we already defined, like create table 1, comma CF1, comma CF2. This means here itself we are telling I am going to create table 1. It has two column families, CF1 and CF2. That's what we mentioned while creating the table. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
After that, what we say is row key is a mandatory only. While you are inserting only, you are going to give the row key. Anyway, row key is a mandatory. So while giving inserting, you instead of inserting to CF1, you will insert into CF2. There also this row key will get inserted, and that particular value will be there.
And we need to go with the same ID combination for both the times.
Yes, always you have to. It's the same ID.
Okay.
See, row key will be like what is the use of column families? It does not impact anything else other than what I've worked on this. Column families, it can be used to restrict access to certain access. That's what all I have seen. Other than that, I don't see any much significant works to be done on column families because we use only one column family for entire 800 records, 800 columns or something is coming in a live stream, and it doesn't make any change. So that's what I faced. So that's why we did not give much importance to column family. Only one column family we have. That's where every there. So let's do one small.
All the time, one column family will have one row ID. That's a unique key. One row. That's all.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
There will not be more than one row. One unique key. There is only one unique key.
I'll show you one example of things so that you will understand. You will see other courses study. Okay, we'll not go into that right now. We'll just go create an Hive table. Currently, we created scoop table. Okay, like HBase table we've created. So it is there. The data is here as the data is stored here. The data is stored into HBase. Now, all I want to do is I want to create one Hive table to externally pointing to this HBase table. Okay, that's what we will do now. And the HBase we will see. This has to be seen in detail also because we have separate topic for HBase. But whatever we have seen till now, everybody understood. Is there any other questions?
One question. You said HBase is running on HDFS, no? So can we go to HDFS and see it in a file manner?
Currently, I'm not sure where it stores. It stores in a H file. That I'm sure. But which part where it stores begin that in this part I'm not sure. We also need to check that one. It stores in a H files.
H files on HDFS.
HDFS only. You can also check the location where it stores and you can find it. It is very simple. It should be storing somewhere in like home HBase somewhere. But it is storing there only.
I mean, we're talking about blocks.
Okay, so let's connect to one external table. Hive. So now I'm going to Hive and create the database and I'll connect it. Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, so I went into Hive Then now what we are going to do is we are just going to reference the HBase table from Hive. So this is what we did. This is the HDFS. So we scooped the data from here to HBase. HBase is scooped the data. HBase anyway stored the data in HDFS only. We are going to create one Hive table. This is Hive table. So this Hive table is external table. It's just pointing to that HBase table. That's it. Okay, that's what we are going to do. This is my RDBMS. Okay. Now we are going to create the Hive table. I went to hunt to Hive. I'm in Hive. So I'm creating a database, and I'm just muting everybody, and I'm using this DB. I use the DB, and then I'm creating the external table. So here, if you see the external table, usually we give HDFS location. Usually that's what we give, but here the data is stored in a different manner because the data is in control of HBase, HBase. For that, we need to use this handler, Hive HBase handler, that will interrupt how the data is stored and how it is has to be accessed. And also we need to use HBase column mapping. What is the key? What is the key to this? Our current HBase table. Those key we need to explicitly give. Then only it will work. And then the table name, output table name, HBase table name. Those things we need to give in a SERDI properties. Okay, I'm just running, creating the Hive table. Some issue. What is the issue? HBase crime column family CD does not define HBase. Okay, we created column family as CF. That is the issue. So I need to change every CD as a CF. Understood the problem, right? I created as a CF. Now it should be work. Table is created right now. We didn't load anything in Hive, correct? But the data will be fetched from HBase. So data is there available for Hive also, and it is just an external table only we created for HBase. Data is available there in HBase also. Same data can be read from Hive also. So that is the way of interconnecting two or more components. That way we can access. If you want random access, we can directly hit the HBase. If you want aggregated access, we can go to Hive. We can utilize both power of both components, both tools.
And if we drop the HBase table, will it allow us to drop just because Hive is pointing to that one, or
it will allow.
we can go ahead and drop it?
It will allow. Hive does not have any control over the HBase. Hive does not have any control. If we drop the data, simply will not be able to see the data over there. That's it. Other than that, it should be fine.
Okay.
Let's try dropping.
We can recreate at any point of time.
Yeah, we can truncate. I'm just deleting the data. And here, it does not have any data. Hive external table does not have any control over data.
Right.
If you delete the data, data is there. Yeah.
Not the data. If you drop the table itself in HBase.
If you drop the table, okay, why need to disable? The table is not found.
Okay, so it's failing. Okay.
It will fail.
No, can you check in HBase?
Yeah.
No, can you check in HBase what it is showing?
No, I deleted the table.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So even HBase doesn't have control of how many tables are referring HBase side, correct?
Yeah, HBase does not have control. Correct.
So either way, no control on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we cannot delete the one record in the HBase, but we can delete the whole table.
No, we can delete one record also.
We can delete?
Yeah, we can. There are commands, plenty of commands to delete one record, put one record. It's possible. Just we truncated the table just for demo. You can delete. There is a command delete. HBase is you can insert, delete, everything is possible because it is storing in such a way to access all these things.
So when you delete HBase, but is it the data is deleted in HDFS or still data is still there in HDFS?
No, data will be deleted in HDFS also.
Also, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So what the thing with HBase is, it does not. It has a cache memory. Like option will be performed there, then only it will be then only data will be pushed into HDFS. So that way it handles those things.
So Aru, one basic question, just to understand. So what you explained now makes sense with one table, right?
Yeah.
But if I have some 100, 200 tables in data in HBase and that is pointed in Hive, I don't know really how many are pointed in Hive. But is there any system table where I can find how many HBase tables are used in the Hive table to make sure I'm not deleting those if it is referenced?
Inside the difference, right?
Yeah,
one thing you can do is you can go to Hive metadata and check. From HBase side, I'm not sure we have any mechanism to check it. From Hive side, you can go to metadata table and check what all the tables are pointed to HBase.
Okay. Okay.
In HBase, I'm not sure because it is just pointing, like anything can point, right? So I'm not really sure. From HBase side, I don't know. From Hive side, we can check the metadata tables. Like what are the tables?
But whatever Hive table that you created now, can you show me how the metadata will be?
Here, right?
Yeah.
You have to like list everything and then do this and then find out what is the HBase, whether it's external table, and then what is the HBase table.
Oh, so manually I need to list it. There is no metadata where I can go and just check it. For example, if I use a table in a view, right? In Teradata in SQL Server, it's very easy. Just go to the DBC table and take the SQL test and find for the table. You will find all the views that is used by the table.
Such case, okay, if you find that view, right? Here, no, there is nothing like this in this one. There is one metadata, metastore is there. I need to check whether metastore has this information. There is a thing called metastore in Hive that should be having the information, but I'm not sure whether where to check that in metastore. That also, I also need to check that one.
Okay, got it. The reason why I wanted to know this one, in an organization, they'll be having hundreds of tables, right? If people don't have control like this, how do they manage which one is getting deleted and which one is not in production?
Yeah, that should be correct. It should be handled through the metastore table, which I will also check that one.
Okay.
Metastore, there is a thing called metastore in Hive. I think you should be aware. From there, you can check it. It will have all the things of metadata, what Hive created and all.
So we can control by the creating IDs, user groups and everything, right? Not to delete the
even we are only controlling. Yeah, we are only controlling, right? Yeah, that is the manual control. But Hive should be storing those data.
If we have 100 tables, so all 100 tables will be stored separately, individually. It's not because it's not a relational database. There will not be any linkage between the tables. Is that correct?
In Hive or HBase?
Anywhere, I don't know the difference.
You partially right only. We will not be we will make the data as much as deserialized as possible in Hive. But sometimes you have to, if you while you are transferring the data from here, it can have the linkage, but it is not explicitly imposed the linkage. It is not like a foreign key should be there to insert. No, such things cannot be imposed. But you can have the same keys to maintain the things, because it's also again the same thing, right? The imposition cannot be done. Like while RDBMS we can impose if the data is if the entry, if the ID is there in master entry, then only you can do the child entry. Foreign key relation we can define using constraints. Such things cannot be possible in Hive as of now at least.
What about in HBase?
HBase also, no, that is not possible. Like foreign key relation, the HBase is not RDBMS. Again, I wanted to just iterate. It's not RDBMS. As you see, it stores data in altogether a different manner. It just stores key and values. It's just like putting keys and taking it from there, but you have some schema over it. That's it. And dynamically, you can give anything.
Is it HBase is a column? It is a columnar database, right?
Yes, it is a columnar database.
So in the scenario, so suppose in a table, if we have a 10 columns, in a one row you see a 10 column, but in HBase, if we move the table to HBase, so we will see for 10, suppose 10 column, 10 rows. So in the scenario, it is going to be 100 rows, right? 10 into 10, 100 rows, it will be stored in a columnar fashion.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly right. See, if you see row ID and column family and columns relation, this chart explains it clearly, how it's stored. Row ID is common, column families, like the table is split into column families. Each column families can have n number of columns. And row IDs are adjacently stored in disk. It's a disk RAID itself it handles. So 1, 2, 3, it will be stored adjacently. This is the way of columns and column families HBase. And this is the way it shows behind, that we'll see it while we come there. This way it shows this column families. One more thing is, this is a way of RDBMS will store data like this. If you want to fetch one record, let's say one customer invoice you want to get, you need to join 4 tables and get the details. But the same thing in HBase, all we need to define is ID as 1001 and store everything in one table. One table you get the entire detail of the customer, that transaction, single transaction data, correct? So that is the difference of looking in a architecture perspective.
And how fast the retrieval in HBase compared to RDBMS? Is
retrieval?
Retrieval, yeah.
No, it's faster. It's much faster, like seconds.
Even though if it has to scan through the rows, no?
Yeah, that is what the specialty is. That's why it is having such a things called region server master. This is a overall architecture, like client master, region servers. Region servers will keep on increasing. Each region will have 64 MB, or you can increase it. Something like that it will create. This is the way it immediately hits it. Like a lot of catalog tables to handle those things.
Okay.
So it will immediately hit the metadata 1. Metadata will have mapping to the region. It will immediately forward to the region. In region, it will get the data. And it is actually how the data will be stored in. It is sequentially stored. Like the storing is sequential, like adjacently stored, incremental. That way you can easily access.
So, what are the operations are available in HDFS? Do we have update operation is available in this one?
HDFS or HBase?
HBase.
HBase, yeah, you can update it, you can delete the record, you can insert, update, anything is possible. Insert, update, delete. It's available.
So, I can maintain the SAD2 type here, right?
SCD2, slowly changing dimension, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can maintain.
Okay.
That is possible. So you can also try to run this in your machine. and try. I'll just get the answers for these questions. HBase column family addition, how to addition, and where HBase was stored in HDFS. And any other questions did I miss? Today we are not able to answer. Vinodji, I think I missed one more question, right? What is the question?
No. You just answered. STD2 type.
No, STD2 is fine. Previously, while we were discussing, I said one more question also I'll check and tell. What is the question?
I think Vinod, you asked the three.
Giving two different column family.
Yeah, that is fine. That I mentioned, two different column families. If we alter one thing, what will happen? That we've done. And one more thing is this Ganesh as where
in the scoop, is there way we can
Composite
add
key.
composite key
Composite key in the scope.
while importing?
And Metastore to find what all the tables are referred to HBase. That also we need to find. Metastore to find.
Right.
What all the tables referring to HBase and vice versa. Yeah, these questions will find answer.
Scoop import composite key.
Scoop?
Yeah, scoop import. While importing, can we able to give
different column family, right?
Yep.
Scoop import to families. Okay, fine.
Comma separated. Yeah, just
comma separated we can do, right?
No. While import after one column family, can we give one more column family?
Yeah. That's this question. Scoop import different column families.
Yeah.
Scoop composite key. Okay. Okay, guys, you can try this in your machine and you can try that. So you will get understanding. And for a reference, I'll put the HBase PPT now itself in our share folder. You can go through that also. So that will also useful. And HBase and Hive, there are some distinction based on architecture wise. That's where we use, at what time we use HBase, what time we use Hive. Those things are we will be like already we started seeing. We'll be seeing it more on upcoming sessions.
Okay.
If you have any doubt, you can stay in the class for 10 more minutes, or if you are okay, then you can leave the class. Thank you. I hope today's class is useful and interesting. We'll see you in our next class in Tuesday. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks to all.